Hi, hi. Welcome back to my channel. This is Anna's Zone. You are all welcome back. Today, I want us all to study something about living on budget as an international student, especially in Belarus. Why this topic? I find this topic very important because we all know that in Belarus and other parts of the world, international students are not allowed to work. We are not given work permits in this country. So we solely depend on whosoever takes care of us financially or whosoever support us financially. That means we have to really manage our monies very well or wisely, very wisely. So that is why I found this very important that we get in here and talk about this. So let's get in here. The first point I came up with is get to know your income period. Get to know your income period. What I mean by get to know your income period is every individual or every student in this country has a different period they receive money. Some receive money yearly, some receive money monthly, some receive money weekly, some 2 weeks, some daily, some anytime they need money. It's just a call away. But whichever category you find yourself, I think this topic is important for us all as international students. So after getting to know your income period, you also get to know the amount you receive every year, every month, every week, every 2 weeks, every day, or anytime you ask for money, the amount you get or the amount your parents or your supporter sends you. When you get to know the amount you receive, my next point is you prioritize. You prioritize. What I mean by prioritize it, you break down your expenditure according to your priority. Different people with different priorities. We all have basic needs, but when it comes to basic, even with the basic needs, we have things that are necessary for others, that are more important for others, which are not that much important to another person. So you have to know yourself and you have to know what is more important for you, then you prioritize. I have a general example here. What I want us to focus here is not about the bulky budget, which involves school fees, accommodation fee, medical insurance, medical medas mortuary, registration, visa, and all that. I'm assuming with all these ones sorted out, you've paid your fees, you've paid your accommodation, you've paid your medical insurance, and you've bought your medical insurance, you've done your medical test, you've registered or you've gotten your student visa, everything intact. So after that, what I want us to get into is how to budget with our pocket money. The pocket money we receive for the year, for the month, for the week, or any time. How to budget for it. We all know that as students and as individuals, there are some basic things that you can't live without them. Like, they are just basic. We need them to keep life going. Something like food, water, transportation, clothing, toiletries, and all that. But I have some lists here that we can look into as students, some of the things that we do per experience. So I have some. I'm not going to draw your budget for you because I don't know you, and you can't draw my budget for me because you don't know me. But out of this, you will be able to rearrange them and know which one to put first, which one to come second, third, like that. Then we go on. So let's move on. Don't mind my accent. Let's go on. So I have here food, which includes water. I have transportation, clothing, toiletries, saving, fun, giving, miscellaneous. So when I talk about food, yes, we all know that everybody eats. So food is a basic need. But what I want us to focus on, everybody eats, but we have to be conscious of how much we spend on food. You should know the amount you get, and you should know what you apportion, or what you put, or what you set apart for food. Somebody who receives $200 and somebody who receives $500 or $400, $600 cannot be spending the same amount on food. You can't, like, what I'm trying to say is, you can be get eating the same food, but you can get it cheaper. We have some shops that have the same things but on cheaper prices. So what I mean is, when you get to know the amount you receive every month, you can go into a search. You can just look around, compare prices from grocery shops to grocery shops. Look for the place that will work for you, that will fit your income, that will fit your money. Even if you have to you have to take a bus to a further place to get it. If that will be cheaper for you, it's better than spending huge sum of money, and at the end of the day you run out of money just after buying groceries. So what I'm trying to say is, for example, Invictus, Green, and Everett, we have things that are more expensive in Green and less expensive in Everett. We have things that are less expensive in Green and more expensive in Everett. Get to know all these things so that you will know where to get your groceries, where to get your food stuffs. I want us to move on to transportation. We all know that in this place we have different kinds of transportation. We have trolley bus, we have autobus, we have Mashutka, which is, I don't know, Mashutka. We also have taxis. All these can be cheaper depending on who you are, and depending on what, and you also have your legs. Let me put it that way. Because there are some places we have our classes that you can walk. If you can walk, there is no need to take buses. You know, walking is exercise, which is good for your health as well. But let's get in here. Example, when you talk about student taking taxis, it looks expensive, but when you look at it on a second thought, it's cheaper when you are in groups. We all know this taxi brand, Maxim. When four people contribute money and decide to order for Maxim, sometimes it's more cheaper than even taking a trolley bus. So what I'm trying to say is, get to know which transportation works for you. You can decide to cooperate with your friends and go to school every day with taxi. You can just put money to, and it will be cheaper for you than even buying Prince Noy or buying bus tickets. Because these days, these taxis, when you are in pairs or when you are in groups, it tends to be very cheaper than even some of these buses. So get to know which one of these works for you and go by it. If buying tickets works for you, get to know it and use it. Just what I'm trying to say is, get to know the cheapest way, or the affordable way that works for you, and use it. Moving on, moving on is toiletries. Toiletries. Toiletries, what I mean by toiletries, we have toilet papers or tiro. We have tissues, wet wipes, sanitary pads, pomade, deodorant, body sprays, and name them, shaving sticks, and all those things. Especially as a lady, as a female student, there are certain things that are very, very, very important. That as soon as you get your money, whether you get your money yearly, monthly, weekly, or what, there are certain things you shouldn't Like, there are certain things that should be part of your priorities, especially as a lady. Sanitary pad, tissues, and all those things, they are very important. Body spray, deodorant, they are very important. So these things should be part of your first things to get. And if you think you get your money yearly, I think you can buy these things in bulk, which is more cheaper. We have shops that sell these things in bulk in a cheaper prices, and that will help you to save money and also help you in times where you have run out of money. Because there is one thing to run out of money and you have all these things around, it will make you more relaxed. And there is another thing that you have no money and you have none of these basic things. That one can cause you to run crazy, or can cause you to be very, very frustrated. So I suggest that as you get to know, when you receive your money, these things are very important. As a lady, you can get them in bulk. Then put yourself at peace. The next thing I want us to talk about is clothing. Clothing. We tend to spend a lot on clothing as an international student. It's good, but sometimes it's not necessary. Sometimes, due to weather changes and all that, everybody wants to look new in every season, which is good. But if your money is not enough for such a lifestyle, don't create it for yourself. You are not competing with anyone. You have clothes that you can just style them and look neat and clean and nice. Why bother yourself? Why give yourself headache? Why stress yourself so much to go get new ones and run out of money, and at the end of the day you'll be hungry, or you go, borrowing? It's better to be content and live within your means than to spend, exalt everything that you have on, excuse me to say, things that you don't really need, then turn into a borrower. No. I'm not saying you I'm not saying don't borrow. If you want to borrow, that is you. Fine for you. But sometimes we put ourselves in such positions. Sometimes we don't really need to do that. We just pushed ourselves into such positions. So what I'm saying is, there are some clothes that we buy that are not necessary. If you have clothes, and what I'm trying to say is, let's just try to cut down costs, or cut down the monies we used to buy all these clothes that we don't really need them. Because at the end of the day, when you're leaving this country, you will see that these clothes become burden to you. Because when you want to send them wherever you are going, you have to pay for extra luggage, and or you would have to give them out. Sometimes it's even difficult to find somebody to give them to. So at the end of the day, you end up throwing them away. These clothes that you spend, clothes, shoes, and all those things that you spend so much money on, you end up throwing them away or leaving them behind. At the end of the day, people will dump them, they will not use them. So instead of buying so many clothes, instead of having a closet that you don't really need all those things, just manage those you have. Since you are not settling in this country, manage those you have, so that, and save the money you would want to use. These clothes too, they pass away. It's fashion, they call it. What, it keeps on changing. It keeps on changing. Some of these things that you stress yourself so much to buy this year, you might not want to wear them next year. So why bother? And if you see somebody wearing it and you can't afford it, it's today that you can't afford it. A time is coming that you can afford it, like you can over afford it. Time and season, is life is about times and season. It will happen to you too. Just be patient and focus on what you came here to do. At the end of the day, you have clothes. Manage that and you will be good. The next thing I want us to talk about is savings, which is very, very, very necessary. It's very, very necessary. When I talk about savings, I'm not saying save $100 every month. I'm not saying save $500 every month, $200 every month. We are students and we are not allowed to work. I understand. And even those who have business, how much do they even make? It's not so much that you can really save a lot. But when I talk about saving, it could be coins, it could be 50 kapek every day, it could be one ruble every day. You might never know what that one ruble you're saving every day can do to your life when you are in need of money. It might be, you don't really have to open an account to save. This is one of my savings. It's just a perfume box that I keep coins inside, and I have a lot of coins in my pockets. I just drop them, and as you can see, I have lots of them here right now that I don't even know the amount. So just imagine the day that I'm in need of money. At least if I open this box and I can get 10 ruble from it, it can help me in a day. I can use that 10 ruble for a day, which is good. It's not the best, but at least I can manage it for a day. So what I'm trying to say is saving doesn't necessarily mean save a huge amount of money, but any little that you get, make sure you put some somewhere. You can open an account, you can drop $10 every month. If you can afford more, just drop it. As little as it is, when it gathers, there is a saying that a little drops of water makes a mighty ocean. The same way with savings. As you keep on drawing that little, one day it will become bigger and you can use it for something else. Even if you don't run out of money, even if you don't need it right now, you might need it someday. So what I'm saying is, though we don't get so much money in this country, but we should learn to drop some somewhere. We should learn to save, no matter how little, no matter how little we receive. The next thing I want to highlight on is giving. Yes, giving, giving. I can't talk about this without talking about giving. I'm a believer of giving. I believe in giving. I believe that as a person, as a Christian that I am, I'm a Christian, and as a Christian, I believe in giving. I don't know what you believe in, but if you don't believe in it, I would encourage you to learn about it, read about it, and encourage yourself to believe in it because it's good to give. What I'm trying to say is, no matter how little you receive, learn to give. If you know anybody who needs any help, I'm not trying to say that provide everything for the person, but the little that you can give, just give, and you will be blessed. Don't The giving is not only limited to giving to someone, it also includes giving in church, giving in every society you belong to. It's very necessary to learn to give as a person, and God will bless you. Yeah, it's not necessarily money, it could be food that your classmates need. It could be clothing that you need to buy for someone. It could be pen that you have to buy for someone. It could be a shoe that you have to help somebody to buy. It could be somebody's rent that you have to help the person to pay. It could be a contribution you have to make with a group to help one of your friends or some to pay their fees or accommodation. It could be anything. But what I'm trying to say is, no matter how little you receive, learn to give, and God will bless you. The next thing I have here is fun. You know, as students, sometimes we get so exhausted, like, all work and no play, as the poem goes, made Jack a dull boy. So sometimes you need to create some time Not fun. When I talk about fun, I'm not talking about clubbing, partying, and all that. If that is you, well, I don't have anything to say about it. But what I'm talking about, you can go out to look at, you can go to museums, you can go to tourist sites, you can go, and those places require money. You can even take yourself out or take somebody out on a date, which requires money. It's not always steady, steady, steady. Sometimes you have to go out there and clear your mind, and which requires money. So you have to at least put something somewhere to for all these things, so that you will not be so bored. It will not be like school, maybe for example, school, church, home, school, church, home. At least you have a social life, because it is very necessary to have a balanced life. And miscellaneous. What I mean by miscellaneous is small, small things, like petty, petty things that you can't start to number here. It could be something you have to just get for yourself that it's not really in your budget. So you have to put some money somewhere to for such things, which is really, really, really necessary. So at the end of the day, you know yourself. Which of these things come first? That's what I mean by priority. You put what you need. Maybe yours might be transportation. That means immediately you get your money, you put your transportation first somewhere. Maybe yours is food. That means immediately you get your money, you subtract your grocery money, put it somewhere. You divide your money appropriately, so that at the end of the day, it wouldn't be like you are lacking somewhere. Because in your finances too, you have to be balanced. It shouldn't be that you used all your money for food and at the end of the day you don't have money for transportation. It shouldn't be that you used all your money for transportation, taking taxis alone, and at the end of the day you don't have food. It shouldn't be like you saved all your money and right now you don't have food, you don't have money for transportation and all that. It shouldn't be that you used all your money for fun and you're not going to school because you don't have transportation. In that way, you're not living a balanced life. So I want to encourage us all that, in as much as our parents are trying, our guardians are trying to provide for us, they don't eat if we've not eaten. They don't clothe themselves well if we are not clothed well. We should also think about them and not turn ourselves into spendthrift who will just squander all their hard earned money unnecessarily. We should be wise in our spending because they go through a lot to get all those monies for us. In as much as they love us and they are doing all these things for us, let us also love them back and manage these monies wisely. So, I hope we got something from today's topic, living on budget as an international student. You know, I'm not condemning borrowing, but it's not the best to be doing it. It's better to manage yourself or budget yourself well to prevent it if you can. So let's learn to budget and prioritize and spend wisely so that at the end of the day we wouldn't be burdened. We wouldn't be a burden on anyone, or we wouldn't, beat ourselves up, or we wouldn't be miserable or frustrated due to lack of money and all that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope this video will help us all. Please hit the like button, subscribe, drop your comment in the comment section, recommend this video to every international student that you know, and suggest topics that you want us to talk about. See ya. Bye for now. We'll meet some other time. I love you all. Bye.